Hi everyone, it's Shirley from a senior introvert, 78, and today is Tuesday, September 10 of 24, and I'm showing you the cover of my book that I wrote regarding selling my home in Denver and moving to the rural community of Montrose, Colorado. I self-publish books, and you can purchase them through Amazon. And so this is my little novel. It's not too long, but it is the story of excuse me there, the story of my journey selling my home and back. And this is the cover page, a little bit of a story about me, and a picture of me when I was much, much younger. But writing this little novel helped me feel the emotions again of selling and moving back to Denver. It was quite a struggle. And I kept a journal while this was going on. And so much of the book is my journaling and my feelings on a particular day. And so it helped me. This is a little treasure for me, this book. I'm very creative, and I loved writing the little novel. It was, I don't know if it helped heal me, because I'm not healed. I think I'll always have a great wound regarding selling this home. And that's a picture of my home that I sold in Denver. It was built in '53, and my dad purchased it for $12,500. You can't even buy a decent car for that now. But it was a beautiful home. I kept it up just gorgeous. I loved gardening. The yard was always green in the summer and well maintained. I had a lot of flowers and shrubbery in the backyard. And my dad worked for Seaberg background music back in the 70s, 80s. And he used to get old jukeboxes and refurbish them and sell them. And oh, I wished I had one now. He would just make them beautiful with lights and the little 45 records. He'd restore them so that they would play the records. And he put one in the basement, and then he finished the basement in knotty pine wood. And I think in the early 50s, maybe late 50s, my mother wanted to be a beautician, so she went to Mile High Beauty College in downtown Denver. And I remember my dad would drive her to school every morning, and then he'd go on to work. And when she passed the state board to get her beautician's license, she told him she wanted a beauty shop in the basement. So he finished that entire basement, a large basement, probably 900 square feet, I would say, and finished it in beautiful knotty pine wood. And then he made a section of it for her beauty salon, and all in knotty pine. He built the station where she could put her shampoo bowl. He put a big mirror up so that she could turn the customer around and do their hair after she shampooed it. And then he bought her 3 large hair dryers and a desk and a book to keep her appointments in, a date book. And I still have those date books and the times that she would schedule her appointments. And she built her business up quite successfully. Anyone from the Denver area that have been here for a while probably remember Bill Dreiling Cadillac on Broadway. She was one of my mother's customers, and she had everyone in the surrounding blocks as customers. She worked into the night for people that worked in the daytime, and then she would do their hair late in the evening, even 9, 10 o'clock at night. And this is a picture of my dad on the left and his brother from Sterling, Colorado, at the home. He built that basket weave fence in the backyard. But back to my mother's beauty salon, she was very successful at that business, and she continued on until she was probably, I would say in her late 70s. And then she kind of closed it up, and she had a lady friend that they'd go on a lot of adventures every day, fishing in the mountains. They would go to Horsetooth Reservoir, fish, Echo Lake. They would fly to Las Vegas, and they both loved to gamble. And then they would go to the dog races, horse races, and my dad passed away in 1977 at 58, and so she was quite active. Like this paragraph says, she lived to be 100 and a half. The last year, I'd say when she was 98, I noticed a big change in her personality. I took her home from bingo one night, and she fell on the driveway face first, and hit her forehead pretty hard on the concrete. And ever since that fall, I noticed a big change in her personality. I didn't understand Alzheimer at the time. I didn't know what the symptoms were. I didn't know what had happened to her, but she became very different personality, more quiet, subdued. She would wonder where I was when I got home from work, why I was gone all day. And during all this, our little dog, Sammy, a little Pomeranian, died. And she wondered where that dog was, even though I had told her that he had passed away. And she still wondered where he was. And no matter how many times I would tell her, Mother, he passed away, he's not alive anymore, she would hound me from the minute she saw me to the minute she went to bed about that dog, where he was. And finally, she started, I'd come home from work, and I'd be watching TV, and she'd come in the room and say, come outside, there's people here I want you to talk to. And I'd go outside. The first time I was shocked. I thought, who would be here to talk to me? And it was 2 police officers, and they asked me if I was her daughter, and I said yes. And they said, well, your mother called us because she claims that you killed the family dog, and she wants to know where you put it. And I was, talk about being shocked. I could not believe it. I looked at her, and I said, he, that is totally untrue. He died a few months back. I'll go inside and get his little box of ashes and show him to you. So they kind of caught on. I think they knew what was going on. I'm sure they have calls like that all the time. And so I showed them the box, and they left. And then she'd call them again. It seemed like several days out of the week she would call them, and they would show up. And finally, one of the officers said, do you have plans for your mother? And I said, well, I think I do. So I had been looking kind of in the behind the scenes, I guess you'd say, looking for a place to put my mother if and when that time ever came. I told myself I would not place her, excuse me there. I told her I would not I told myself I would not put her in a home. I would try everything on my own to take care of her before I would place her in a home, because I didn't want to do that. That would have been a last resort. Well, the last resort was I came home from work one night. We lived together for many years, and I came through the back door and walked behind her in the kitchen to go to my room to change my clothes. I had just gotten home from work, and she was standing at the sink with her back to me, and she turned around just as I got behind her, and she had a big butcher knife in her hand, and she kind of lifted it up and kind of made the motion of a cutting right by my throat, slashed it right across my throat. And I told myself, oh, this is the end. This is it. I cannot do this anymore. Now I fear for my well being, my safety. So I had a place in mind that I thought someday, if the need ever came about, I would place her there. And it was a really nice new home. The man that had developed this community would buy like duplexes and turn them into assisted living facilities. And I had visited his first building many times and got acquainted with the staff, and I liked the way it was run. It was small, it was family oriented. They had a big dining room where everyone would eat, no upstairs. They would bring them to their meals, and so I placed her there when she was 99, and she stayed there almost a year to the day before she passed. And she was 100 and a half, and they gave her a huge 100th birthday celebration. And I visited her every day. I'd come home or I'd leave for lunch at work and go straight out there and visit her. After work, I'd go visit her, sometimes even late in the evening, 9 o'clock. If I missed her and couldn't sleep, I'd go visit her, and she always begged me to come home, and that was much grief for me. I thought, well, how can I take her home? I made several phone calls to places that would send out caregivers, but on the advice of her doctor and mine, they told me that it was best that I leave her there, because my health was deteriorating too from all the stress and unhappiness. And so I unfortunately left her there, and it was a very sad, trying time for me. And but she lived a long life. She was strong physically and kind of mentally too. She was pretty sly. She'd kind of come in and out of her mental state, and she'd appear pretty normal to me, and that bothered me greatly, because I thought, gosh, did I make the right decision? Does she really have Alzheimer's? Because she's pretty lucid a lot of the times. But I left her there, and then I stayed in the family home after she passed, of course, in 2014. No, 13, she passed away. And I think that's why I miss that family home so much. I made it such a jewel of a place to live in. It had so many memories, some not so good, some really happy, but I was totally happy there when I was by myself. It was my haven, but it's just too bad that it had declined to the state that it was in. So today I'm going to tour Children's Hospital in Aurora. I named them as a beneficiary to part of in my will, because I have no children or brothers and sisters, no real family that cares about me. So I named them as a beneficiary, and also a lot of, not a lot, I think two animal shelters. My idea is that I want to help those who can't speak for themselves. That has always been my thought. So anyway, I'm going to call me an Uber here pretty soon and get on my way. I try to not drive in real busy areas anymore because it's the drivers here aren't the most courteous and safety minded. So I think that's going to end my video for today. I hope you enjoyed this talk, and I will try to hit on a lot of different subjects on this channel, not just my selling my home, because I have a story to tell about everything that's happened to me during my life. So I'm going to put the book down now and head to my appointment, and